Hello, hello. Am I live? Hello, hello. Yes, Jan, I know it's time. I still had to press the button. Well, actually, I was stirring my tea. There we go. That's why I'm late. Stirring the tea. And I have got a wooden spoon this time. Yes, yeah. She has to tease me. Get her own back kind of thing. If she has to do that, let her. I can take it. I can give as good as I get. Oh my goodness. Hello, hello. Welcome to this very windy live. It is very windy outside. It is raining. I can hear the sea all the way to here. So that means the weather is very bad. So just in case, it shouldn't happen. But if this, internet comes down or whatever, or electricity is down, then yeah, we'll try again next week, shall we? But for now, we're here. Everybody's here. Hi, everyone. Oh, hello, Vinita. Oh, my goodness, she's awake. I had the loveliest chat with Vinita this morning, and oh, my goodness, she gets up again, or she stays up for this live. I mean, she is a better subscriber, a better fan, a dedicated fan than I would ever be. So I have to thank you so much for that, Vinita. Oh my goodness. And then yesterday I also had a chat with Ivy, and she was such a lovely lady as well. She's got like 5 children, 5 grandchildren. She's built her own community and she makes so many things as well, just as Vinita. So, oh my goodness, I've had the most gorgeous conversations with these 3 winners, because there was Ingrid as well. That was last week. It was so nice to have someone to talk to. Now I'm just looking at myself and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, your hair and your this and this. But and of course I can only hear myself talk, but to be able to speak with someone else and to get replies and to get asked questions. Oh my goodness, Ivy had a whole list of questions. Vinita had a whole list. Oh, it was so lovely to have that, to have that wonderful conversation. Yes, very, very special. And I am so glad that this was, a prize that we did. We might do this again because it was a really, really lovely thing. And I hope that these 3 ladies have enjoyed it as well. What's up with her fingers? Well, the thing is, you see, there's always something up with her fingers. I tell you that. There. She has been trying on items of clothing. Yeah. And her fingers were getting stuck in the hole, so I had to put her hands like this. I'm not going to say any more, but very soon, she'll be showing off something else than the reading shawl. So you better start finishing that reading shawl, because I've got something else coming up and it's really, really lovely as well. So there we go. I can see that quite a lot of you are really, really cold. It's been really cold here as well. Yes, she was barred. It's been really cold here as well, but now it's warmed up and now we have rain and wind. So, yeah. Yes, Chris, this is a bag and this is a bag. They're both on the channel. I wanted to put these things out. I'll tell you why they are out later on. You might think, what is that kind of a collection that's out? But yeah, there we go. And these 2 bunches of flowers, that one was the one that I got from Rachel for my birthday, which is still there, which is still flowering. And this one I got from Thomas, which arrived on Monday. And it has lilies in them. Oh my goodness, it smells so nice. But I've had to put some of the roses from Thomas's one into Rachel's, because this one, the lilies didn't have space to open up. So yeah, it's really lovely to have those flowers in the background. And that there is the leftovers of Derek's bouquet. So I'm drying that so I can keep that. So yeah, almost done with your reading show. What do you mean more me? Your daughter asked me if you're working on my if you're working on your greenway and asked if it's more me. No, okay. You'll have to give me some more information. Yes, the crochet bag. I'll have a chat about that. Oh my goodness, 40 degrees in Australia. Well, just tell you, it's so different here, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Yes, Karen, such a difference. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Ingrid. Thank you. I'm happy you enjoyed it. Yes. Yes, so we have amber warning as well, I think. Yeah. Yes, exactly, Tracy. Stay calm, keep crocheting, and just carry on. And hopefully the weather will. Is it the Aisha storm or something like that? Can't remember how they. Oh, Susanna, I'm so sorry. I hope that you've got some lovely memories to look back on, and if anything was wrong with your mum, that she's at peace now, or even she'll be there. She'll be looking after you. Yes, perfect for a stroll on the beach. Yeah, not here, Molly, not here. So I'm glad that you are somewhere where that is the case. Oh my goodness. High humidity. Yeah. Oh my word. Where is that, McD? 37 to 41 Celsius. Where are you? Ah, yes, of course. Michelle, you have got to keep, yeah. You've got to prioritize which ones you're making for yourself. And if that's for yourself, you've got to tell everyone, because otherwise they'll run off with it. Oh my goodness, Wendy. Well, I'm glad you're here. Then really, trees in your garden? Oh my goodness. Yes, so I hope you're all home and safe. And if you're not, I hope you can sort of get home safe as well. So Nancy, no, my waves are not natural. But I washed my hair this morning for the call with Vinita, and during the call my hair dried, so I didn't have time to dry it with the hair dryer. And just now I thought it hasn't dried nicely because there was a thing here, so I thought let's try and curl it. And it doesn't always work well for me, but this time it seems to have worked. So I'm like, I don't want to move my head too much because it's looking nice. I don't know how long it's going to how long it's going to stay like this, because normally towards the end of the live it's all gone out. My hair doesn't keep curls. I would so much like to anyway. And I don't put any product in, and maybe I should put product in, but there we go. I don't. I'm glad that your sister's there. I'm so glad that your sister is there, Ingrid. So she's there, and that also means that your notebook is in South Africa. So you will soon be meeting her, and you will have your notebook. Fantastic. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I am so happy that I have been able to teach you so many things. And this is the thing. If you stick with me, basically, over the course of quite a few projects, you will have learned so much. And I take that knowledge into the tutorials as well. I will always explain things, but also sometimes you will just know these things, right? And that will give you the possibility to do something that actually Venita showed me. So she said, yes, I did a mashup of 2 patterns. She made like this. Hello? No, okay. Maybe this. Oh, something happened. No, nothing happens. So she made a mashup. She combined the Cleopatra with the fleur. And she's calling it Cleopatra's fleur or something like that. So it's great. It's wonderful to be able to take then 2 of my patterns, put them together and make your own. That's going to give you a unique piece of crochet, something that you have designed yourself. And that is just so wonderful. So wonderful. I love it when, oh yeah, the Cleo Fleur shawl. The Cleo Fleur shawl. That's what she's calling it. Unbelievable. It looks so nice. And to think that those were 2 different patterns put together using her own imagination, you've made something unique. And I think that's lovely. So yes, I am so glad that you have learned so much from my tutorials, and long may it last, right? So yeah. Is a peacock throws in the specific order as numbered? Of course, Jan. The throws in the order as, yeah, it's all in the pattern. So have a look. It's all in the pattern. You can see where you have to be putting, yeah. So Julie, you're not going to follow the pattern. That's fine, of course, that's fine. But we knew that people would ask. And that's why we spent a long time, and I had to bribe Emma with chocolate to do it. She was here and we were both writing, I was typing it, she was saying, and she had her hand in my chocolates box while we were doing it. And I had to tell her, right, when you get to 30, you're allowed another chocolate. So yeah, can you imagine how I had to bribe her to do this? Oh my word. Yes, all the yarn is safe, Deborah. It's all safe. Yeah. You could come and visit us if you wanted. Yeah. Wow, Chris, that's fantastic. She's a quilter, but watching me. Yeah. Unbelievable. That's so nice. Yeah. Yes. So yes, thinking back now, I think we will try and if we ever do something like this again, we will get the colors, because to be honest, yes, we realize, yeah, we want to be do what you want, and any color will go together, because obviously the pack has already been chosen. It will all go together, but I know that some of you do not even want to do that, want to make those decisions, or are indecisive. And then that way, it takes so much time. So if you've got it all ready, spontaneous, yes, fine, but some people just don't want to be spontaneous, and they think it's just so much easier to follow a plan. And that's what, we've provided. You don't have to follow the table, but you can if you want to. Okay, so now I have seen quite a few people posting their progress in the Facebook group, and I think that is wonderful. So I've seen stacks and stacks of little squares, and I know actually that making a blanket with squares is not always straightforward. I know a person, and I think I know probably more than one person, who made the squares or made squares for another blanket, not particularly the peacock, and then just they never got put together. And that's a shame. You start a project and somehow you don't finish it. And this is exactly what we are talking about today. Okay, so those WIPs in progress, those works in progress, why are we not continuing? How are we going to sort that problem? How are we going to make sure that they get finished? So that's something that I would like to, I don't know who was yelling, it was outside, Jan. That is what I would like to talk about today, especially how I do it. Okay. She's awake. She's awake. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't talking about a certain person in particular. Do you like my hair? Let's just change the subject. Do you like my hair? You know, drinking tea. She knows it was her I was talking about. But, you know, like with anything, it's good to admit. It's good to speak it out loud. Speak it out loud. Yes, it's me. When I make a blanket with squares, I do not put it together because I like making the squares more than the joining, right? Say it out loud. Say it out loud, Karen. Say it out loud. But you know what I mean? So learn your lesson from that. Maybe just sit down and put it together, but then promise yourself you will not make that kind of blanket again. There we go. We've got us. Well, actually, Teresa, I have said that to Karen already, that she could bring them, we could put them together, or I could put them, together. But yes, there. Okay, she says, yes, it's me. Hello, my name is Karen, and I have a lot of WIPs. But Karen, we all know you also finish things, and Karen often helps me with looking at patterns, helping me with designing, and also sometimes just making part of it. So it all helps certainly for me, but I know that Karen is capable of more than just finishing whatever she's not finishing. But yeah, I do have her doing other things sometimes. So she does finish things, but sometimes she doesn't. And maybe you yourself, you just need to there we go, Rachel. That's a very good idea. And so Rachel says, I'm going to make small versions of blankets this year, so it won't take me as long, and you can do more things. Exactly. And you have the granddaughters to give to, and you can buy them that baby doll bed and they can play with them. See, if you have the possibility of making a smaller, or even make like this, make a cushion cover. Turn them into a cushion cover. Have you made some squares? You haven't finished it? Make it into something else. So that is what we are talking about today. There's so many things. Let me just write this down because I've got a whole list of things that I wanted to talk about with those WIPs. So the first thing, yes, of having an Anya design. Yeah. The first thing you need to do, right, is make sure 34 WIPs Karen has. Well, Karen, that's far too many. Far too many. And I know you make things and you finish them, but certain things then just don't get finished. So first of all, you need to make sure that you know what your WIPs are. Okay? Make sure you have them, or when you put it away, when you stop working on something, you know that you're not going to, make sure you put it away in such a way that you have everything still with it that you need to finish. Because if you then, maybe weeks or months or even years later, pick it up, right? How do you know what it was? How do you know what hook size it was? How do you know the yarn, what you were making, all that? So you have got to get, maybe even just put them all together. And this is why I use these plastic boxes. So for me, okay, so this is of course a different story for me. Okay, I start things, then I stop working on them because I have to film them. And then I will come back to them. And then I have to pick it all up again because I'm then filming. So in a way, you could say that I stop working on it and then do other things. But I do go back to it because it's, you know, it's for the channel, obviously. So what I tend to do now, I have it in these plastic boxes. They are see-through, so I see what's in them. I only have 1 or 2 projects in every box. Yes, keep notes about it in your journal. Yeah, now you know, we have a journal. Keep notes about it. Make sure you know what you're doing. So I have written the pattern then, for instance. So I go back in my computer, find the pattern, get it all ready again, and I'm like, ah, yes, this was it, and now I can continue. So you've got to give yourself the opportunity to finish it, because if you're just gonna scrunch it up in a bag, throw it in a heap, you know, that's just, the likelihood of you finishing that is small. So you've got to give yourself the opportunity to be able to finish it by keeping it in a sensible way, by keeping it accessible and current, where you would know what to do if you were to pick it up again. Okay. But also, why? The question is, why do you abandon it? There we go, Sharon. Yes. Why do you abandon your projects? Right? Because you don't like sewing in the ends. But of course, the project isn't finished until those ends are, or you can't use it until those ends are put in. Now, the thing is, I know you'd rather sit. Yeah, okay. So let me write that down. You really wanted to make that. We'll come back to that again. Interest. Boring. Okay. So, yes, what was I saying about, oh my goodness, now I've lost it, of course. So you haven't sewn in the ends, right? And you'd rather start something else, which, of course, yes, it's understandable. We all like crocheting better than sewing in ends. So what I do, right, what I do is I will say on this evening, particular evening in that week, I'm going to sit in the sofa. I'm going to watch something on my Netflix or YouTube, whatever, and I'm going to sew in those ends. So I do that while I'm watching a film that I like to watch, or while I'm catching up with my YouTubers that I follow, right? And that way it gets done. Okay, so try to do that. If you have got ends to sew in, do them. Do them first of all as you go. Yes, of course, but also if you don't do that, do them at the end. And for me, designing, right? Designing, I don't sew in any ends because I might have to undo it all again. And I do that like that. I will sit myself down in an evening and just watch something and sew in my ends, and that helps. Okay, so if that's the reason, try and get through that part, because then at least you can say it's finished in an evening. Debbie, I know. She stops if the border is difficult or if it's a tricky part and life is stressful. I know. Life is already stressful. You don't need more stress. But crochet shouldn't be stress, okay? If Yes, exactly, Molly. Exactly. Okay. If you're wait a minute, because people, it's going too fast. It's going too fast. Um if yeah, I forgot my sentence. Never mind. I'll get to it again. Yes, the thrill of starting something new. Of course, yes. But wouldn't it be nicer to start something new if you weren't feeling guilty that there was a whip there? Okay. Yes, and there we are. Life is stressful. I know. Life is stressful. But I designed certain borders like the Jewels of the Nile. That was a double border, but it wasn't so easy like others. But you have to see it as a challenge. Don't get stressed over it. Don't get annoyed because you can't do it. You can do it. Just take your time, concentrate, and do it. Okay. So that's the thing. You need to try, and even if you think it's difficult, it's not. It's always the same stitches. You're never doing other stitches than all those 5 stitches, the basic stitches that we're doing. It's just a different way put them together. Okay? So try and see difficult things as a challenge. Then Cindy says because it's boring, because the yarn is awful, because the colors don't sing. Yeah, and mostly because Anya has come up with a new fabulous project. Yes. So if it's boring, if the yarn isn't helping, frog it. If it's boring, try to decide whether or not you're going to keep doing it and just make a decision. If you're too bored, just frog it and make something else. There's so many patterns out there. My Cal patterns, like the Jam Jar, like the Lizzie, they are designed to not be boring. Okay? And then somebody says, Keitha Seaman, yeah, somebody can't keep up with all the fantastic patterns that keep coming out. I know, I'm sorry, I apologize. Yes, Deborah, the end bit is the best. The last stitch, the pulling out the hook from that very last stitch, that is the best feeling, right? And to then be able to say, and now I'm going to use it. Oh, that's fantastic. Rachel, I have recently abandoned 3 projects. They went in the bin. Hated seeing them around and didn't like them. Felt guilty, so they had to go. Good. That's very good. Make a decision. Okay. Yes, of course, we don't want to throw things in the bin, but sometimes we just need to do that. If you can save the yarn to do another project with it, fabulous. Frog it, cake it, you've got it for another project. But if it was the yarn itself, like somebody said, if it was scratchy, you didn't like it, just bin it. Give it away or bin it and just forget about it, because sometimes that's what you have to do. Okay. I know you feel guilty, but it had to go, and you must feel better now, like a sigh of relief, right? Okay, Tony, sometimes you lose the plot with the pattern and you give up. That's a shame, Tony, because I think maybe with a small pause in between, you would be able to pick it up again. But also, of course, it depends. Like if it's like something like my Lizzie, you could always put another row in. Like, for example, Chris Green never liked the beans. Put another row in there so you don't have to do beans, and then you can get on with things. So again, make a decision. Try and have a rest, have a pause, try and save it or frog it and start again and use the yarn for something else. Okay. Do you hear? I'm advocating frogging here, because I think if you leave whips lying around for years, there's no point in making them anymore. Just frog them and use the yarn for something else. Okay. Okay, yeah, here we are. So Molly Bean says, I frogged so many projects because she couldn't remember what pattern it was, and yeah, stopped in the middle of the row, couldn't find the stitch, and so on. Exactly the reason why you need to, when you put things away, when you're giving it a break, make sure everything's there so you know what you're doing. And it was a good idea, Molly, to frog that, because now you have the yarn to make something else, and there's no guilt because you've got your yarn, you're making something else. Pay your granddaughter to sew in your ends. Laura, excellent tip. Excellent tip. Oh, wait. It jumped back. So I had it. Oh, yeah, here we are. Yeah, can't keep up with the patterns. I know I know I'm guilty as well. Of course, I put out so many patterns. But the thing is, you see, yeah, well, this is it. I try to, make big ones, make small ones. I try to make sure that it's balanced, that you have time to do the projects. But of course, yes, hopefully after the CAL, I will have a couple of small projects for you, so you can still keep working on the CAL. So it's really important that you try and finish well, for because we all feel guilty when we've got something that's laying about and you're not finishing it. Just try and make a decision about it, even if you think that you're never going to finish it. Frog it and use the yarn for something else. If you think you're going to finish it, set some time aside and do it, because otherwise it'll just stay there, gather dust, and after a long time it's not going to be a nice project to open up or to start working on. Okay, and make sure you have that pattern still there. Karen, exactly. Yes, in your head have a deadline. Sometimes you might actually have a deadline because if you work for orders or whatever, or if you're making a blanket for a baby and this baby is going to be born, let's say in June, and I think, right, I'm going to start the blanket now and I make sure it's finished by that time. And of course, that way you are motivated to keep going and get that blanket finished. Also, with the CALs there, we work from week to week. 30 rows in a week is okay to do. Most people can do that even if you are working. If you do a couple of rows every night, you've got 7 nights, for example. If you do 2 rows, you've got 14 rows done. If you do a couple of rows more, 3 rows, you've got 3 rows are quick to do. Then you've got 21 rows done. 4 rows, do a few more on the Saturday, a few more on the Sunday, and you've got your 30 rows. So, it's doable. And giving yourself those deadlines, like when Anya publishes the next video, I want to have my 30 rows done. That helps. If you're making your own blanket and you know how many rows you're doing, like I think it was Teresa who got the piece of paper and she wrote the dates she wanted to have certain lines done by, and she did it. So it's good to give yourself those blocks of work, and that way it will give you the impetus is it impetus to to keep working and to work towards those goals. So if you have some goals, that makes it a lot easier. Oh yeah, Deborah, you don't have to feel guilty about having more, having your whips laying about. Of course you don't. But I know a lot of people do. And um, actually, I don't have anything lying about that isn't in my plan, basically for my channel. So I'm doing well. I'm doing well at the moment. I might frog it, but it's going well. The mannequin is the reading shawl. So that's out. It's been out for a while now. Oh, yes, of course, Cindy. Of course, starting new whips, you don't have to feel guilty. No way. Um, but it's, of course, yes. Um, it's greater than, crochet is best therapy. It's cheaper than a therapist, of course. But it's also nice to be able to have something to show for what you're doing, to show off your project and to start using it. So always a nice way to, if you're finished with it, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. And that is even worth more than that therapy. To have that sense of accomplishment is also great, you know? Yes, Claire, exactly. If you do the boring parts when you go to a crochet group, you're also chatting away and you before you know it, you've done quite a lot. And that's why I use, watching a film or Netflix or whatever, so that's how I do it as well. My mum does the same as well. She keeps certain boring things or certain straightforward things for when she goes to her crochet group, so she can just sit and crochet and talk, and sometimes just sew in her end. So that's what she does. Yes, Fran, exactly. The borders are what makes a blanket, are what finishes a blanket. It's like a frame for the painting, right? And that's what finishes it. And that's, yeah, the challenge of something new as well. Yeah, see it as a challenge. Don't see difficult stitches or difficult stitch combinations as a difficult thing or a problem. See it as a challenge to try something new. I mean, it just take a little bit of time to work it out what you need to do. Watch the video again, and then you'll think, that's how it's done, and off you go. It's just going to take that little bit of time. Tracy, I feel like that about the zigzag battern. I'm worried. Once you've done it, once you're off, that first line might be difficult. But once you've got it, you'll be flying. You will be flying. So, like I just said, start something new, start a new pattern. Take your time, get it under your belt, what you have to do, and then you'll be enjoying it so much. Yes, okay. It does look a little bit different because I folded it over. So yeah, of course, Ingrid, you've got a lot of projects on the go because you're all, that's your therapy. You're keeping yourself busy with your projects, but you keep on working on all of them. So you do a little bit on that one, then you go to the next one, to the next, and then you go back to the other. So this is ideal if you get bored easily. This way you can work on a number of projects and just keep rotating them, and you keep working on them. Those are not really whips because they're not pushed in a corner, put away out of sight to forget about them. Okay, you keep on going with them. So you're almost doing multitasking and doing multiple projects at once. Okay, but the main whips that I am talking about is, the ones that just are pushed in a bag in a corner and forgotten about. And you just keep adding to that corner with more and more bags of things that you're not finishing. And in a way, it's a shame that you're not finishing them. It's a way you're not finishing, you're not getting the use out of them. There's money in those bags. There's yarn in those bags that you're not getting the most out of because you've paid for that yarn. You have paid for the item that you're making. You want to enjoy using that item, and you're not. And that's what I'm trying to avoid here. So, I don't feel guilty about starting a new thing. Of course, no, don't. But there is something there that you've invested some money in and you're not using it. You're not using it to its best potential. That's what I would feel guilty about. So having made decisions of buying the yarn and investing in that and then just having it in a plastic bag on the side, I'm sorry, no. Yes, exactly. Teresa, that is exactly right. She says maybe make yourself a realistic project end date promise. So try to work out how long it would take you realistically with your commitments, your work commitments, your home commitments, with your health, with your ability, everything taken into account, only things you can know. And just say, right, I'm going to finish this blanket. I'm going to do 5 rows a night. And if you can do 5 rows a night, it will, it will grow and grow and grow, and you will be really happy. If you can't do them then one day, that's okay. Do maybe 7 the next day and try and make up for, so you've got to get yourself going on this. You've got to keep on, like we do with a cal, but do it for yourself. Yes, if you show things off in the group, even if things are not finished, even if you're, if you're finding it difficult to finish it, just post it in the group. Of course, if it's an Ophelia Talks project, post it in the group and say, what do you think, guys? Do you think I can finish this? What do how do you feel about it? Do you like this? And then if people give you encouragement, that would be, such a boost for you to keep going. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, one or even join. Yeah, just do. I'm not sure about lampshade covers because I haven't found a lampshade I can work around, but also, yeah, I haven't done something like that yet. So we'll put it on the list. Yeah, if you have some sort of order to finish your whips in, that would be great. But if it's not achievable, try and do, whichever way. If you were, for instance, let me try and come up with an example. Let's say I've got 5 whips, right? I've got 5 things that I haven't finished, but I am working on something. What I would do is say, okay, so I'm working on something, I'm going to finish that. When I finish that, I'm going to pick one of my whips and I'm going to finish it. And then I'm allowed to start something else, but I have to finish that. When I finish my next project, I'll pick another one of my 5 whips, because those will then only have been 4 whips because I finished one already. And then, so make yourself some sort of plan. If you're, I mean, oh, it skipped again. It skipped again. Because I'm holding it, you see, so where I can, I'm holding it to, oh no. Oh my goodness, I'm so far behind. Somebody said, yeah, I frogged a lot. Here. Oh, was that you? Ingrid. Oh, where was that? No. Oh, my word. Yeah, I mean, whips will get finished, but it will take months and maybe even years. But as long as you've got the feeling that that you're working on it, that you are finishing something sometimes, I think, yeah. So, yes, Tony, yarn winder. Exactly. That's where I was. I've got to get going. I've got to go through more comments because I'm holding the comments and yes. So make a decision. Sometimes you just have to make a decision and just frog it, and then you can use the yarn for something else. Yeah. Tags, list the project, hook size, yarn, and pin it to the project. Yeah. If you know you're working on all of your whips, that's fine. That is fine. I am mainly talking about the ones that are in the corner of the room, not looked at again. Okay. Exactly, Donna. Make sure you make the right decision for the yarn and that it's fit for the pattern. Yeah. But yeah, also it might not turn out the way you like it, and then you lose interest, and then you just need to make a decision, and it might be better for that yarn for another thing, Ends at a craft group, so I can chat. Yes, keep your ends for going to a craft group. Yeah. Leftover yarns. Yes, when you have the leftover yarns, you can then use those as well. No, Randy, it's fine to frog. Fine to frog an old whip, and I'd rather frog something that I'm never going to finish or never going to use and make something else that I am going to use and that I am going to love and that I am going to finish. Yes, finish it Friday. Finish things on Friday. Sewing ends on Friday. Oh, hi, Mandy. I haven't, Carolyn. No, I haven't. I know. Yeah, Beth, that's fine. As long as it takes. But if you're working on them, then that's fine. Exactly, Deborah. Yeah. If frogging is going to make you happier, it's going to make you lighter, it's going to make you breathe a sigh of relief. There we go. Yes, there we go. Vinita has actually used incomplete projects as a shawl. Sometimes you just start something and you're not sure about finishing it, but you could turn it into, like I said earlier, turn a couple of squares into a cushion cover, or make it a smaller blanket or whatever. That way you've still made something really lovely from like for instance, I said in November to start making those squares, right? So the Anna squares, yes, of course, that's a whip. But if you know that you're always making them and adding to them, this is something that is meant as a whip to stay a work in progress, that when you need a blanket you can quickly whip one up because you've got all the squares there. Okay, so, and that's again a project for a rainy day, for if you don't know what to do, there's always something like that. But yeah, sewing your ends at your knitter and then knit and natter group. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, frogging is also a way of making sure that it's exactly the way you want it and exactly correct if that's what you're after. Yeah. Yes, Laurie, that is a problem. I'm going to have to think about that. And yes, small goals with those old whips, with the whips that you are really not working about. Take one out, have a look. Can you finish it in maybe a few evenings? Can you interest yourself in it again? Can you find the pattern? Can you find everything? And if you can't find it, maybe decide to frog it and make something else, and then there's one less project there. If you've made squares and you haven't put them together, look at that. Make them into a little blanket and just do it. Just sit down and do it. Yes, of course, you always see improvements. The more you crochet, you will always see improvements. And also, if you've got this whip that you've put away, you made that when you first started crocheting, your tension, your stitches, they might look completely different now. And you might not be able to finish it in a nice way because you've got two different tensions. So it might be, a way of having to frog it because your crochet is different. Yeah, manageable chunks. Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you. Yeah, manageable chunks are important. And I would say with this one as well, with the peacock, keep making those squares. Keep counting them. I'm always putting them in stacks of 10. I'm always counting them, always seeing how much progress I've made. Keep it up to make your squares, okay? Fantastic, Pinkies. February, finish it February. What a good idea. Maybe I might have to import that one into our channel as well. Finish it February. Yeah. Jan, welcome to the club, I would say. And yes, that's a good idea. Get up. I've been doing that as well. And just crochet. And then you get things finished. Yes, there are things coming our way that are interesting. So, yes, of course, sometimes you are lost without a project. And if you haven't got a project to do and you have got some of those old whips, go and find one and make a decision on it. Are you going to continue it or are you going to frog it? And start something new, because then you can use that yarn to start an exciting new project. See? Yeah. Going back over the tutorials, you can watch the tutorials many times if you think it's too difficult, but don't give up on a project. Don't give up on a project, because then it ends up, in a box, in a bag, and, you need to the points of the border or the points of the zigzag, because the zigzag, until it's a reasonable length, it will curl because it's the way it's doing it, but it should lie flat. Yes, Julie, that's a good idea. If you post the start of a project in the group, you also have to post the finished project. It's the law. Yes. But, it's just really nice to have some way of keep making yourself accountable. If you post it in the group, and if you say, right, I'm going to post every Friday, I'm going to take a picture of my project and see the progress, so I can show you the progress. And of course, if you then have to post a second Friday with the same amount done, then you can say, okay, I didn't do anything this week, but I promised myself I would do a little bit every night this week. And then the next week, you'll be so proud to be able to post some progress. And that is the way to go about it. And that's the way to use the group as well, to keep you accountable for what you're doing, if you want to finish things. Ruth, that's perfectly all right. I've done that before. Yeah, perfectly all right. You don't have to have a border around the blanket. It's fine. Yeah. Fantastic, Diddock. Yes, what a good idea. No, Karen, no, I haven't. You have told me about these whips. Cindy, exactly. Active whips or dead whips, yes. Well, I call them old whips. Maybe that's better. Wow, Catherine, that's fantastic that you've sold them to your sister, and 3 on their way to Paris. Oh my goodness. Exactly, Julie. The jail has been empty for a while, and I think we know who's going to be the next occupant, unless she's going to finish some of her whips. Tracy, we call it jail. Yeah, it's not the naughty corner. It's not the naughty step. It's not the doghouse, because that's where Derek lives half of the time. It's jail. It's crochet jail. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Exactly, Shara. Isn't it lovely to have your finished projects on display, where you can see them, where you can admire them, and just think of all those whips that you could be finishing and then admiring and using. See, that is what I'm talking about. Have a look at those old whips, the whips that you're not working on, that you haven't worked on for a long time, and just make a decision. Okay, make a decision. Are you going to finish it, or are you going to frog it and use the yarn for something else? Because, you know, it's a shame that it's there in a bag. It's not doing anything for you. It's not making you happy. So let's try and make a decision on them. Oh, am I still live? Where am I? Oh my, no. Am I still live? I've lost the view. What's happened? Am I still there? Am I still there? Everything's still green. Okay, I'm still live. Okay. So I just sent a message to Julie saying, am I still here? I can't see myself anymore. I don't know where to turn this off now. This is fabulous, isn't it? It's going to be somewhere, but I can't see where I am. This tab is using your camera, yes, but where am I? This is a new one. Let's just options. Nope. I'm not going to play about with this. I'm just going to sit here and talk to my blank screen because I can't see a thing, and now I can't read the comments either. I was doing so well. Why am I not seeing myself? And you know, it's top chat. No. Oh yeah, I can see the chat. I can see the chat. Okay, I can see the chat. That's all I need to see, right? Thank you. Finish it or frog it February. Yes, that's a very good idea, Chris. That's maybe something that we might start doing because, yes, I know I do the crochet every day in November. And that's also an encouragement for you to, finish projects, finish some whips in readiness for, the busy Christmas season, or also for making actual projects, gifts, and then finishing them in November so you can give them in December for Christmas, so Christmas gifts. So that's something that I encourage in November. But of course, doing that in February would be a very good idea as well, because not only are we making quite a few lovely projects in February, we are looking forward to doing a cal soon. And so for me, for me to not feel too guilty about getting you to start another project, yet another one, I want to encourage you to finish current projects as well. Of course, of course. Um, ab- Abandon it, April. Yes, I mean, that would be a good one as well. Yeah, a frog along. Oh my goodness, Finita. Wouldn't that be a great thing? Frog something that you're not working on, that you're not happy with, that you've lost interest, and let's just frog it all together, right? Unbelievable. Make it May. Yes, make a new thing in May. We can come up with all kinds of things now. But I'm liking the, where was it? Frog it or finish or frog it February. I think we're going to go with that one. So there is a decision you'll have to make, finish or frog it, because in a bag, tucked away, waiting for you to finish it is not going to bring you joy, right? It's only going to bring you like maybe guilt for, you know, for not having finished it, for having that yarn sit in a bag, for, you know, having that money sitting in a bag, basically. That frog along would be so cathartic. Yes, it would be. Alliteration, yeah. I think when can we order it again? Are you talking about the Peacock? We are making sure we keep on ordering. Okay, so if it's not in stock today, try and put your name down so we know you're waiting. And the moment you've put your name down, when we update the stock levels, when we've ordered some more in, you will be notified. So make sure you do that. Okay. What is coming next, Cal? March Madness? Yeah, something like that. There's a good name for it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, maybe we could do that. On the leap year in February, we could have a frog along. We could have a session where we're all frogging our yarn, all frogging our whips that we no longer want. Yes, let's think of that. Let me write that down. So that's the 29th of Feb. That's a Tuesday, isn't it? Yes. Yes. Just ordered 2 today. Aha, Chris. Very good. Very good. Ah, ran out of yarn. Yeah, it happens. It happens. It happens. Right, Karen. Have a nice night. 11:30. What time is it, Finita, for you? Oh my goodness, it must be like 2 a.m. in the morning or something like that. She's so good getting up for the live. Unbelievable. But yes, so the main thing is, what are your whips? Put them together. What's the pattern? Find out the pattern. Find out if you can, make it, if you can continue it. Why did you finish it? Why did you finish working on it? Sorry. Why did you finish working on it? Is it boring? Is it scratchy? Is it not what you thought it would be? Make a decision. Finish it or frog it. Because, oh, it's 3 a.m. Oh my goodness. Because there's no point in having them in a bag or not finished. Okay. Make sure you make a decision about those whips. Finish it or frog it, and then enjoy it. Whatever you're going to do with it, you will be back to either having the finished project or having the frogged yarn to start again a new project. Though the possibilities are endless. Okay, and then again, if you do decide to start working on it, make sure that you do it in achievable goals. So set yourself some dates which are, realistic and achievable, and try and stick to them. If you can't, that's fine. Just do your best. And then that way, at least, Oh, Bonnie, I'm so happy you can try again. Yeah, but do take it easy. Keep doing, little bits at a time. Make it an easy project, you know? Oh, that's lovely, Linda. Yes, to be able to give a shawl like the reading shawl to someone like that is always so lovely. And it will bring them a lot of, not only physical warmth, but also, it's like you are hugging them, isn't it? So they are that you are there with them and you're giving them some comfort. Yeah, it's lovely to do something like that. So yeah, I think now my last tip for finishing a project, because of course I am here. I sit here and make the cowl blankets all on my own. I can't show them to anyone, not even the moderators at that point, because I am still designing it. I'm still working on it, and I'm still unsure whether or not, it's going to work. So I'm sitting here working on it on my own, thinking, chugging away basically. And the way I get my whips finished is by envisaging what it would look like, is by thinking how lovely it would be when I would use it like this, or how wonderful it would be if it was finished and I could show it off to the moderators and I could show it off to all of you. And I try to imagine how, well, fingers crossed, I hope always, I hope that you will all like it as well. Because I sit here quietly in my sofa, working away on these blankets, and I think, are they going to like it? Are they going to, and I'm like, no, they are going to like it. They are. Let's just keep going so I can start showing people, and I can, because sometimes I don't even, in the beginning, I don't even show my mum. So very often she's the first one who gets to see it. And then, we sort of progress. And if she says, oh, yes, that's nice, then I'm like, okay. Now, of course, Dirk, he'll say everything is nice. So that's only half and half. That I'm happy with that, because I know he likes everything I do, which is nice, but still, but then, just sitting here thinking, are they going to like it? Is this going to be worth it? Yeah. It's very, I wouldn't say it's really, really hard to continue, but sometimes it is quite, I really have to believe in myself, believe in the process, believe in the design, believe in the colors. And I think, yes, this is going to work. This is going to work. So I just see this. I see this vision of what it's going to look like, how I'm going to present it, what I'm going to say about it, how I'm going to get you guys interested in it. Like with the greenway, I was like, oh my goodness, what theme shall I put to this? Because I've got the colors, I've got the stitches. How am I going to, and then Didic reminded me of a theme that I had told him about, that I said, this is something I want to do one day. And of course, there was the greenway, there was Agatha Christie, and there was the colors and the type of colors that they were. It was quite Agatha Christie time. And then, of course, it all came together with the story, Dartmouth, the train, the boat trip, the house. And of course, Jan, once everything like that came together, that encouraged me so much to get it all finished, to whiz through the rows, to get going. And then we planned the trip, and I was really, that got me so fired up to get this blanket finished. And that's the kind of thing that when you're making a project like that, that's what I try to imagine that you have in your head as well. Try to imagine what it would look like when you're using it, when you're when you're loving it, when you're showing it off to people, when you're taking pictures of it and showing it in our Facebook group. So yeah, there we go. That's that. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you. Oh my goodness, Lillian. I know, but it's just, in the beginning, I am so insecure about what I'm making. And then, trying to, yes, Mandy, of course you do like it, but I never assume that you do. I never assume. I always, like the cal that's coming up. It's a little bit out there. It's a little bit out there, but I love it. The moderators loved it. So I'm hoping that you guys are all going to love it as well. But of course, that's for in a couple of weeks when we can start talking about it properly. Yes, the background stories and the excitement. Becky, that's what I do it for as well, because I can give you those stories. I can make you all excited with all these themes and the stories. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. It is a lot of work. Yes, Derek, it is. It certainly is a lot of work. And he sees me do it, of course, and he sees my face sometimes when I'm sitting here thinking, is this going to work? Am I going, are they going to like it? And I'm like, am I sure? Am I not sure? But you just have to, go with it. Think, I've come up with this vision. I'm going to see it through, Yes, Deborah, I try. Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's the thing, Teresa. Where can we take a picture of my finished project? That's another thing as well. If you have a park nearby, or if you know that you're going somewhere, finish it for going there and then take some nice pictures there. That's a good way of doing it as well. Exactly, Cindy. Yes, envisioning the finished project and what you are going to do with it. And of course, in your case, you're making this for charity. See the children wrapped up in the blankets. Is that not all the encouragement you need, right? Excuse me. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Yes, thank you for your, totally support me and you love my work. Thank you. I try to be a little bit different from other channels. I try to, be unique and I try to encourage you to finish projects. Yes, Chris, that's way off. Don't worry about that just yet. Don't worry about that just yet. I know I've mentioned the new cal and you all know that it was coming because this is what we do. And I can just say now we've tested it and they did a really good job, the testers. So I'm really happy. And so now we know it can all go ahead. So you will find out about that in due course. Don't worry. We always do. There's always a mention of it somewhere. You know it's coming, but everything is on track. No, he can't, Tony. No. Oh, Molly, can you send me a screenshot of that if you can, please? Yeah, Debbie, of course, I've got to find a way of encouraging myself to keep going, to finish those whips, because I'm doing it not just for me. I'm doing it for all of you. I have a greater purpose. I have the purpose of, making something to show off to all of you and to get all of you to make it as well. So that is my encouragement. That is my way of getting through, getting through making a whole blanket, getting through the boring rows, thinking, oh my goodness, I'm no longer interested. Well, I can't do that. I have to keep myself going, because I know I'm doing it for all of you. Were there some new colors of yarn this week? Dirk is trying to put other new colors on the website, so do keep an eye out for that. So there'll be some new colors of Crochet Me, Knit Me. Soon there'll be some new colors of DK Marble Chunky. So yeah, just a few more shades of Marble Chunky he's put on. Yeah, so this is it. It's time. It's time that he needs to put these things on. What do you mean by out there? You know, for you guys, for all of you to see. Yes, again. Oh my goodness, Julia. Yes. Who has Sorry, guys, this is taking a long time. Who has unsubscribed from? I need a drink first. Who has unsubscribed from some emails? Teresa told me straight after the live on Sunday. Okay. Yeah, well, you'll have to wait and see what I meant by that. You'll have to wait and see what I meant by that, Nancy. Teresa told me she, after the live, went straight to her email account and started deleting and unsubscribing from a couple of email accounts. I have spent this whole week. So in between jobs, sometimes I have 5-10 minutes. So every time I had a few minutes in between a job that I did, I went not only to my work emails, where I have 0 unread emails. Yes, by Friday I had 0 and I have, you know, there's work emails, of course, that I have to keep. So I've kept those. But then there's some that you get that you don't need to read. I've gotten rid of all those. So I only had about 80 or something, but I've got 0 now. So that's for work. Then for my personal emails, I also went through those, and oh my goodness, I have unsubscribed from so many things, mails that I was getting but not reading. There's no point in having them. If I want a new dress, I'll go and find a new dress. I don't need to be told, hey, we've got new dresses for you. No, I don't want a new dress right now, you know? So any mails that were not serving me, that were not bringing me joy, that I wasn't reading, of course, there are mails you need to keep about, you know, your electricity bill or your whatever, you know, of course, those, you know, don't unsubscribe. But anything other, I have unsubscribed. I might have like, oh my goodness, so little has come in this week. It has been so much better. Very liberating. Yeah. So unsubscribe, keep unsubscribing. If you get an email and you're not reading it, go to the bottom, unsubscribe, and just get it out of your life. Delete a lot of mails. If you had a lot of emails in that list, keep deleting them. For my personal emails, I now have 20 or something silly like that. I can't remember. But I mean, obviously, I get a lot from, you know, let me check how many have I got. Yeah, 59. But that's from the weekend, from, you know, some of the some subscriptions, which, you know, I'm thinking, do I really? Marks and Spencer, free prints, you know, some of those, but some of those I am using. So I do need to keep some of those, but I'm going to, you know, 60 is not a lot to get tomorrow to have a look at those and to get rid of most of them. Yeah. So, I hope you found that helpful. And Vinita, that's too many, darling. That's too many. Try and do like 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day. I know, you know, don't unsubscribe from us. we do send out an email, but not very often. And if you're, if you're interested in that, yes, there will be, there's all kinds of news in there, in the email letter that Dirk sends out. So we hope it is useful to you. But it also gives you, like, when the cal comes out, we'll be sending an email and things like that. So I hope you won't unsubscribe from us. But all the other, like big stores, things that you just get, there's no need to have those emails. And I am so happy that a lot of you are now saying that it made a difference. And it's, yeah, so keep doing that. Keep deleting some emails. No, Laurie, I don't. That's good, Karen. That is good. Fantastic. Archview condominium, I would suggest you do them. You can do them any way you want. You either go through the list like this and tick them all off, or you go through them like this. So it depends on what you like to do. Yes, Debbie, but if you've done some, keep doing it. And I am sure that you're going to feel so much better afterwards. Isn't it a weird thing? Emails. you know. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if Anita has some, work related, that's completely different. Of course, you need to keep those, or whatever you need to do with those. But it's what I'm talking about are the ones that are just mailing you in the hopes that you would buy something from them, that you would, read something from them, or whatever happens, that you subscribe to because you want to get something for free, or you want to get a download, or you want some more information, but you first have to subscribe, or you've bought something and you have to subscribe. There's so many reasons why you subscribe to an email newsletter, but very often after a couple of days, I think, I'm not reading it. And if they send them every day, that's a bit much. So anyway, we were talking today about our whips and old whips, and the need to try and maybe frog them or finish them. And next week on the channel, we are going to be working again with the peacock. We're going to do the border and the special peacock edge on the border, the peacock corners. And then, of course, we are also going to be talking about the cushion, the cover, how to make that. So I've turned it into a cushion cover, and for the moment that's what it is. But I know that Emma is going to put her blanket inside the pouch, so it's going to be a way for her to store her blanket. So bye, Julie, bye. Yeah, this is the way. This is what we're doing this week, and then that's the last week of the peacock. So please post your progress, keep interested in making it, keep envisioning the finished project, and see how lovely it is, so you can finish yours as well. I don't want it to end up as a whip. I want it to be finished so you can show it off and you can enjoy using it. Okay, right, I'm going to say goodbye now. I have no idea how to turn this off, so I will just sit here until I find a button. So bye-bye, everyone. I'm going to keep waving, and I'm going to press any button to see if I can finish the... Am I still on? This is quite funny. Am I still here? It seems to be. Bye. Bye. End stream. Yes, I found it.